When a ferocious foe from Wolverine's past rears its ugly head once again, Logan will be forced to reckon with his own lifetime of viciousness. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Wolverine issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we rejoin the series, Wolverine is still living out a self-imposed exile in the Canadian wilderness. He wakes up early to enjoy the sunrise, which is, just as nice and just as beautiful as an American sunrise. It's just only worth 72 cents on the dollar. That was an exchange rate joke, everyone. I hope you appreciate that. Wolverine mulls over everything that Nightcrawler told him in the previous issue, that despite how hard he tried to run away from his responsibilities as a superhero and an X-Men, somehow, someway, his responsibilities keep ending up finding him over and over again, and because of that, he should probably end up heading back. Unfortunately for him, though, Wolverine's exit stage left ends up getting cut off by the agents of Department H, Canada's own super agency, who have come to the wilderness today believing that all of those campers and Mounties that Cyber killed in the previous issue were actually victims of Wolverine. Geez, Department H, you can't tell the murders of one adamantium-laced mutant from another? Talk about profiling, man. Now granted, not all the agents are this stupid. There is a new character we're introduced to named Meta who actually seems to be able to tell the difference between MOs. In fact, Logan himself even says that he's impressed with this lady's tracking ability, as she's almost able to find him once or twice once he starts playing all cat and mouse with these heavily armed Department H guys. And geez, when it rains it pours, because no sooner does Wolverine actually manage to give these guys the slip does he end up coming face to face with another unfriendly face. In this case, being an old fan favorite for the Knucklehead, of course I'm talking about the Wendigo. Don't remember this guy's shtick? Well, don't worry, Wolverine's internal monologue reminds everyone. Basically, the Wendigo is an ancient curse native to these parts, bestowed on anyone depraved enough or desperate enough to eat human flesh. They turn into a Wendigo, and before you know it, they start passing the curse with their own teeth and claws. Wolverine has crossed paths with several different Wendigos across his long publication history, and they have always been strong enough and brutal enough to even give him and the likes of the Hulk a run for their money. This Wendigo, Logan notes, though, for whatever reason seems to be different. It's not fighting nearly as hard or nearly as well. It also ends up saying more than just its name. It actually asks Wolverine for help. Logan figures that this mustn't be a full-grown Wendigo, this must actually be a kid and one who turned recently, and if it did turn, there must surely be a dark and uncomfortable reason as to why. Against his better judgment, Wolverine actually decides to follow this Wendigo back to the place of its birth, thinking that, hey, you know what, probably no one else would be willing to give this creature the benefit of the doubt, given its bloodthirsty and vicious nature. And I mean, hey, that would kind of make Wolverine something of a hypocrite. People have been giving him a second chance and trying to find the good human inside him despite his bestial nature. So now would be a good time to repay the kindness. When Wolverine follows the Wendigo back to its cabin, he ends up discovering an actually very beautifully drawn comic book within this comic book, wherein we learn that before this Wendigo turned, it was just a regular kid who escaped an abusive group home with his brother before trying to escape and build a new life in the wilderness. Tragically, the kids were very unprepared for roughing it in the wilderness, and at the first snowstorm, they ended up getting cut off from the rest of the world for days. One of the brothers took ill and eventually died, meaning that the other brother, the one we've been dealing with, was forced to resort to cannibalism in order to survive. God damn, what a dark-ass turn. Wolverine once again takes pity on this poor monstrosity and tries to get it out of the wilderness in hopes of breaking the curse. However, the woods are still being patrolled right now by Department H grunts, meaning that Wolverine has to fight them off and also make sure not to bleed them in any particular way, lest he risk the young Wendigo ending up going feral all over again and absolutely doing away with all the hard, good work Wolverine has been doing. In the end, though, these high-minded moral goals might end up not mattering at all, as Wolverine and the Wendigo just manage to narrowly make it out of the woods. The hunger ends up getting the best of this creature and it attacks and kills one of the Department H guys, meaning it looks like Wolverine will indeed have a fight on his hands after all. And so that was Wolverine issue number 2, everybody, and I gotta say, I really enjoy what Solid Dynamite is doing here in this story. They take a tried and true Wolverine storyline, in this case him fighting a new version of the Wendigo, but they completely inverse it and turn it on its head. It shows a lot of personal character growth to see Wolverine try and actually look for the humanity and the good inside of this Wendigo instead of just attacking it and killing it outright outright like he wanted. The art team on this one continues to absolutely kill it too. I love how they rendered the snowy Canadian wilderness. You can basically feel the chill coming off each vista, and it gives the whole thing this real fun Jack London survival flavor to the whole thing that perfectly suits Wolverine. Again, if this book can keep this sort of momentum going, I think we'll be in for a really special Wolverine run. Ultimately, I would give this one a very strong 8.5 out of 10. I loved this one a whole lot, and I can't wait to see where the next issue takes the story from here. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.